Now then, right then, we're just going to do some sound checks. A quick look. Oh, audio was out. Right, that should be better. It's not good. Yeah, we should be good on the audio now. Just check a few other things. Make sure that everything's working correctly. Seems to be. Let me know how the audio is now. It was pretty bad. Right, okay. It's been a busy week with the news, so I think we're going to stick with Friday for the news roundup. I know you guys, a lot of you like your Friday night fun night, which I do too, to be fair, you know, but it's just a good night to have a roundup of all what's been happening and then have a little bit more fun on the weekend. Okay. Gosh, right then, what a week. Now, we've got some breaking news coming about the Iran war, but we'll let some more people come in. We've got Yvonne here. Saskia, hello, darling. How's the audio? Avogadro, Mr. Steve, Mr. T, Mr. Steve T. Oh, fuck's sake. Honestly, it's going to be one of them nights, isn't it, where I can't even speak again. Right, what have I just pressed? Right, okay. Right, we've got Rebecca. Hello, my darling. She's looking forward to this. Good to know, my lovely. We've got Lee, got a notification. Saskia was third here. Do they still do that crown thing, or is that gone now? Tamsin's here, all good for the audio. Fantastic. Claire Bear's here as well. Hello, Claire Bear, love. How you doing? Yvonne's here. Right then, audio is perfect. Well, that's good to hear. What confuses me though, Steve, is because they're now using the username. So I know you're Mr. Steve, but you're coming up as Steve T. Confuses me. Right. It's good to stop the clones though, because your username is unique to you. Terry Knowles Band again is here as well. So we've got 16 people watching. What a week. What a crazy week with the news. Right, so gosh. Right. Let me just quickly get everything ready to go, because I've just found some more stories that I want to speak about. So I'm just going to add them in now to tonight's. I should. There we go. Right then, so just tonight, apparently there's been, this has just happened. Starmer has done another massive U-turn. Like, we're going to start off with the war in Iran, because we're going to get the nasty bit out of the way. I say the news lately is all nasty, do you know what I mean? But obviously I don't want to spend an hour talking about the war, because it's on our screens 24/7. It's important to talk about it so we know what's happening, but I also don't want to dwell on it. So we'll always start with the war first. Now, Starmer has just done a full U-turn. I don't know what number this is now. We're on like 2021 number U-turn. I'd have to ask Gemini. The US are now allowed to use UK bases to defend the Strait of Hormuz in mother of all U-turns. Now, this is what Trump was saying yesterday, is that he doesn't even need that. He has his own oil. He's trying to help the rest of the Western world get the oil, and they need it to come through. Now, the Strait of Hormuz is it's sort of situated between Iran, because it's I think it's in the Persian Gulf. I might be wrong. You guys can correct me. But basically, all the oil that comes to the Middle East needs to come through there. So every time you've got a civilian cargo ship going through with oil, there's a chance it's going to get blown up, because Iran are just firing drones off. Now, Israel have been bombing oil refineries again. I don't agree with what Israel are doing. I think Israel are completely out of control. I think the Americans have been forced into this, and Marco Rubio said it himself, that they had to go into Iran because Israel were going to strike, that if we liked it or not. And if Iran struck, if Israel struck Iran and the Americans weren't involved, then Iranians would have just lashed out and started attacking the American bases regardless. They attacked our base in Cyprus and we weren't involved. They were just striking at everybody. So the Americans were forced into this, and now they're into it. I feel for Trump because he doesn't like war. He doesn't like bloodshed. He doesn't want to lose American lives, but he's committed to it now. I hope to God this is over soon, because it's just not good. But Israel have struck some sort of oil depot, and apparently Trump is not happy about that. But in the meantime, there's been this huge U-turn. So they're now allowed to use UK bases for collective self-defence after weeks of wrangling. Earlier, despite previously insisting the US doesn't need help from NATO with the war, Trump labelled the alliance cowards for not helping. I don't blame him either. It's just awful, though. It's the people that suffer in war. Now, I totally understand why they've got to get rid of these horrible, evil people. I get that, because they are pure evil. So, another U-turn. I'm not seeing the chat at the moment, so forgive me if anyone's talking to me, because I'm not seeing the chat. I'll get back to it in a moment. But there's the Iranians really needed the Americans back in January, and it really pissed me off that they never helped out then. It just feels like it was little too late. So we'll have to wait and see. Starmer likes his U-turns, as we know. Just another article as well that I wanted to show you, which is more from Iran. 19 people watching. Hello, everybody. I should have gone a bit earlier, shouldn't I, for a news show? This teenager has been the first to be executed over Iran's anti-government policies. He was a wrestler. He was 19 years old, and him and two of his friends have been publicly hung. It's just horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous. This guy was like a really promising athlete, and because he was against the regime, they've murdered him. And this is what Trump needs to be pushing. He needs to be getting through to people. There's so many on the MAGA that don't give a shit about the people in Iran that are being murdered. He needs to get this through to people. Amongst the men was teenager Salih Mohammadi, a member of Iran's national wrestling team. The executions took place on Thursday morning local time. This was yesterday morning in the northern province after the Supreme Court upheld their death sentences. The nationwide protests, which began in December and escalated in January, were met with a violent crackdown by Iranian authorities. Rights groups said thousands of people were killed. This is what is pissing me off. They are still killing their own people. And the whole point of the going into Iran is to eradicate the IRCG, get rid of them and stop this. So the fact that they are still hanging people publicly is just saying to the Americans and the Israelis, F you, we're going to continue. They're supposed to have taken out the Ayatollah and then his son, and all of his generals and all of his family, apart from his son, who is allegedly gay. I don't know whether that's true or not. I can't see it because they don't like that, do they? But there you go. This is still continuing. It shouldn't be continuing. And if the Americans can't stop them killing their own people, what was the point in this war? What was it for? Israel went in. They wanted to go in. Israel are now fighting in Beirut. They're bombing the hell out of Beirut because Hezbollah are attacking them, allegedly. I am starting to get really wound up with what Israel are doing. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Charlie Kirk was saying the same thing just before he was murdered. Charlie Kirk was MAGA through and through. He helped President Trump get in the second term, what Charlie Kirk was doing. But do you guys know that he had meetings with the Israelis a week before his murder. And he said, I'm not doing this anymore. You guys want war in Iran. He never agreed with it when Trump went last year and apparently obliterated the nuclear capabilities, which apparently was done last year. So why do they need to go in again? I don't know, apart from to save people, which they're not doing. Charlie Kirk did not want this. He did not want this interference by Israel. That's just a fact. There's WhatsApp messages to prove this. And then he was murdered. I do think we need deeper dive into the Charlie Kirk murder. Right, okay, I'm just going to read some of the chat. But yeah, this guy, him and his 2 teenage friends, murdered, hung, because he went against the regime. Let's not forget in Australia as well, the female team. Right then, let's get into the chat and see what people have been saying. Trump just posted on Truth Social, did he? Yeah, it's just in. This is hi Google Chrome. I still don't know who you are, but I suspect I do know who you are. But you're hiding in a sock. Also jumping in water. Splash. I've missed some of this. Does it? Iodine. Yeah, I need to start taking iodine again. You're trying to entice everyone into this shit show. I do feel for Trump, though. I know not a lot of people like him, but the thing is, he isn't a wartime president. But he knows that people are being slaughtered in Iran. I genuinely believe that he never wanted to go in because he kept on posting videos of his navy heading there. Now, if Trump was really going to strike, if he planned to strike, he wouldn't have done that. It's like when he went into Venezuela and when he struck around the last year, there was no warning. When Trump is doing these things and showing you these things, it's psychological warfare. He's trying to let the Iranians know we're on our way and we can do what we want if we want. And I said this at the time, this is him negotiating because he was speaking to them at the time. Trump did not want to go into Iran. The Israelis forced the hand, and Marco Rubio said it himself. Right, what else are people saying? Then we'll get away from the war because it's depressing as fuck. Well, the whole news is depressing. I know, yeah, thank God it is Friday. Does this mean American bases in the UK? I live in East Anglia and where they... No, what it means, Stalin, is the UK bases around the world. So we've got some on the Chagos Island, as you know, with America. We've got Cyprus. We've got bases dotted around in most countries in Europe and part of the Middle East. So what's happened is the Americans wanted to use our bases to strike from. And Starmer said no. Now he's finally said yes. No, it would nothing here. Nothing here. The thing is, what's going to happen? Yeah, I've got some on that in a moment, darling. Yeah, exactly. And this is not propaganda. I've spoken to real Iranian people who have told me about this. It's not lies. I'm sick of people saying to me it's just propaganda. It isn't. Trump can blind people on the reason for war, but the truth is the Iranian regime. I totally agree. What's frustrating though, Rebecca, is that hasn't happened. Hello, lovely Jubbly. Lovely Jubbly's here. And the thing is, my hubby wants to go and live in America. That's all fine and dandy, but there's talk of Gavin Newsom getting in next. You know, there's a good chance there's going to be a Democrat in next. So America might not be the place you want to be soon. Kush Patel, Charlie Kirk done because he... I believe that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by the right, the Zionist right. And I'm not that sort of conspiracy. Yeah, Erica Kirk was very dodgy. And the thing is, you get all these, anti-Zionist and all this stuff and the anti-Israel and the Jew hatred. I'm not on that bandwagon. I'm not anti anybody, right? I'm just saying what I see with my own eyes. And Charlie Kirk was starting to speak out. He didn't like Netanyahu. I can't say his name properly. He didn't like him. And he wanted to meet with him. And Charlie Kirk said, He wanted a personal meeting. Now, this has all been proven by WhatsApp group messages. He wanted to move away, and I believe that Trump does as well, but he's been forced into this. And I think it's about time the Israeli people had a vote on their leader, because they've not had one. Because if Israel in a perpetual war with all these other countries, they can't have a vote. Now, there's many rumours that Netanyahu is dead. I've seen loads of rumours. I don't know whether it's true. I don't know. But I've heard a lot of rumours that he hasn't been seen in public. Hi, Rach. Apart from, I'm told, hi, DJ Rockford. Yeah, Erica Kirk. I don't believe the Epstein stuff. That's not true. That was fake news. That phone call that they played. Just be careful of the right. The anti, what they call the anti-Zionist right, the Candice Owen, Tucker Carlson, they've gone a bit loopy-loo, in my opinion. They've gone a bit too far, and they're literally agreeing with the left. It's all gone a bit crazy. Not much, DJ Rockford. We're just saying that Keir Starmer's done another U-turn, and he's now allowing the Americans to use our bases. Hi, Lisa. How are we all doing? So, yeah, I want to get into that next. I've got a little video to show you. Hold on. Let's get out of that. Got a little video to show you about these Iranians sneaking in. I think it's a video. Hold on a sec. I think I had a little video. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Let's see if I can find it for you. If not, I'll just read the article. But I definitely had a video somewhere. I think this is it. Right, okay. So this was yesterday, and this was in Scotland, on a British base. I think it was a naval base. Again, the government lies so much. Who knows whether this is real or not, or whether it was just two innocent people going for a nosy. We just don't know. Right, so let's listen.
Been arrested after attempting to enter Britain's nuclear missile base. Armed police swooped on a man who's 34 and a 31-year-old woman outside HMNB Clyde in Faslane yesterday. The top security base is home to the Royal Navy's nuclear deterrent submarines armed with Trident II Doomsday missiles. The man is believed to be an Iranian national. The woman's nationality is unknown. It comes as Iran's regime is fighting for its survival after 3 weeks of non-stop airstrikes by US and Israeli bombers. The arrest sparked fears the pair were planning an attack or surveilling bases' defences. The Royal Navy said the suspects unsuccessfully attempted to enter HM Naval Base Clyde on Thursday the 19th of March. They added, as the matter is subject to an ongoing investigation, we will not be able to comment any further. A defence insider said the suspects had attempted to drive into the HMNB Clyde on Thursday afternoon, but were turned away by the Ministry of Defence police. They remained
Why do I have a feeling that they're just lying again? I just have a feeling. I don't know if it's because I've got fatigue from being lied to so much by the media and by the government. But I just like, are they lying again? Do you remember that time when there was those alleged drones over Heathrow? I'll never forget this. It was definitely something going on underground, whether it was aliens in underground bases, or I believe more likely that the elites are building these underground villages, like in Paradise. If you watch that on Disney Plus, it's a really good show, by the way. They're building underground bases. We know they're building these bunkers because they know what's coming. And I believe that that's what they were doing. And it was causing these huge, locals were saying that there was these huge, like, sonic booms coming from under the ground, and earthquakes were showing up all in the area of Heathrow. Was it Gatwick? It was one of them two big ones in London. Might have been Gatwick, actually. And they shut the airport for like a week, and they said that it was because two a woman and a man were flying a drone by the fence. It turned out to be utter tosh. These people were arrested. They were named, had their name go through the mud, and then they were released anyway without charge. So this couple got all this hate. And they didn't do anything, and they never explained why they shut it. Now, I think they were building I think they've built underground cities under the ground for them. This is what I believe, and it's not a conspiracy because you can buy them now. You can buy these luxury apartments if you've got millions under the ground. So they were lying about that. So when they say that 2 people have been spying for Iran, I don't know if I believe them. Let's continue.
Vicinity of the base in their vehicle and were acting suspiciously, a defence source said. The Sun understands the arrests were not part of a pre-planned operation by security authorities. A major attack on HMNB Clyde, which is 25 miles northwest of Glasgow, could trigger a nuclear disaster. The base is home to Britain's Vanguard-class nuclear-armed submarines and Astute-class Hunter-killer subs. Both types of submarines are powered by nuclear reactors. Military and civilian cops swooped in the couple in a car, a source said. Sniffer dogs searched the vehicle for explosives as the base was thrown into lockdown. A Police Scotland spokesperson said, around 5 p.m. on Thursday the 19th of March, we were made aware of 2 people attempting to enter HM Naval Base Clyde. A 34-year-old man and a 31-year-old woman have been arrested and inquiries are ongoing.
See, look, it's a couple again. It's a couple again. I need to do a bit more digging into this. So I'm going to continue playing this while I drink my tea. I hope you're all okay and you're all enjoying the depressing news so far. Depressing, I know. The
alert came as 2 Iranian men appeared in court in London and charged with spying for Tehran. 40-year-old Nematollah Shahsavani and 22-year-old Alireza Farasati appeared in Westminster Magistrates Court suspected of spying on Jewish targets, including the Israeli Embassy in London, a Jewish community centre, and Britain's oldest synagogue. The pair were arrested earlier this month after the US and Israel attacked Iran on February the 28th in Operation Epic Fury. But most of their alleged spying is alleged to have taken place in July and August, just weeks after the US and Israel bombed Iran's nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer. Last year, Ken McCallum, Director General of MI5, said his security service had tracked more than 20 potentially lethal Iran-backed plots in just 1 year. Most of Tehran's foreign spy operations are run by its ruthless Quds Force, which is part of the Revolutionary Guard Corps. Historically, they have mostly targeted Iranian dissidents in exile. In 2024, an exiled Iranian journalist was repeatedly stabbed outside a home in London. Police said the 3 suspected drove directly to Heathrow Airport and left the UK within hours of the attack. The IRGC is listed as a terrorist group by the EU, and the UK has signalled it plans to follow suit. Suspected spies, Shahsavani and Farasati, were both born in Iran. Shahsavani came to the UK in 2009. He is married with 2 school-aged children and is a UK dual national. Farasati arrived in 2021 to join his mother on a family reunion visa when he was 17. Threats to HMNB Clyde have soared since 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. Data released under the Freedom of Information Act showed security incidents soared from 16 in 2021 to 149 the following year when Putin unleashed the bloodbath invasion of Ukraine. The base is jointly protected by the Ministry of Defence and elite Royal Marine Commandos from the 43 Commando Fleet Protection Group. Both armed units were scrambled to the highest alert yesterday. The Marines are specialists in close quarters fighting. The Ministry of Defence said its police provide specialist policing capabilities at various sensitive defence sites across the UK. One of the Vanguard subs is always on patrol, providing the UK continuous at-sea deterrent.
This bloke's got the most boring voice in the history of voices. He hasn't got a voice for radio, I'll tell you that much. So these 2 suspected Iranian spies. Now, I don't know what evidence they have that these were for Iran. Okay, I'm just going to try and have a quick look. Hello, Jimmy. How you doing, mate? Good to see you, bud. I'm just going to see if I can find if they've named them. Just give me 1 sec. Oh. I don't know if they've named them or not. I could have sworn I read their name. Yeah, it's just it's really weird, isn't it? It's just bizarre. Like, I don't know, like, why did they blame the Russian? They're actually blaming the Russians. It's always blame the Russians, the Russians. They're blaming the Russians now for the drone attack on Cyprus. There's no evidence that there's actually, Russian involvement, but this is what they do. Now, are they just blaming the Iranians because they can, or is there actual evidence? Guys, I'm sorry if I'm cynical now, but we just get lied to so much. Now, talking about Iranians spying, now this came out today. Running a risk, sailor accidentally leaks French aircraft carrier's secret location through the Strava jogging app in major security blunder. Honestly, you could not make this shit up, guys. You could not make this shit up. This is what we've come to in the West now. So he's used the Strava app, apparently. You couldn't make this shit up. So there we go. Okay. There's the ship. A French sailor appears to have accidentally leaked the live location. The crew member logged a routine run on a fitness app while circling the deck of France's flagship aircraft carrier, potentially exposing its exact location during the volatile Middle East mission. Can you imagine, though, if Iran had just took that out? Honestly, we look at our navy and our military in the UK has completely been destroyed. The French have got so much better equipment than us. We are a laughing stock, but this could have easily gone tits up. So knowing that they're in the Middle East, though, it's quite concerning, I think. It means there's more to, unless, guys, this is a double reverse LARP and that they're not really there. They're just putting it out to pretend that the sailor did this. Do you know what I mean? You just don't know, do you? I don't think the French are that smart, to be fair. So the sailor recorded a 4.3 mile, 35-minute workout on March the 13th aboard the Charles de Gaulle as it sailed towards the eastern Mediterranean. But the blunder came when the run was uploaded to public Strava profile, effectively pinpointing the nuclear-powered carrier's location in near real time. The French outlet Le Monde reported again this could be, a false flag, so to speak. The warship had been deployed by a Macron to protect key shipping routes amid tensions. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. We've got French people doing fitness and telling the baddies where we are. We've got a couple, it looks like a couple, a man and a woman, who apparently trying to break into a naval base. Something is very, very off. Now, apparently its presence in the region is not a secret, but the precise location was. Surely they're not this stupid to do this. Macron had addressed troops on board days before. France is there to protect its own. Honestly, the French, you can't get much more woke than the French. And then you start looking at Britain. The Royal Navy have sent drones to underwater search for mines. UK didn't need minesweepers. So I'm going to read that again. The Royal Navy have sent underwater drone search for mines. UK didn't need minesweepers. UK tech is the only ones with it. Maybe that's something that we have then. Oh gosh, the world's gone bonkers, guys. It's gone absolutely bonkers. So, right. So that's. I think we're going to stop with the war because it is just depressing, isn't it? It really is. Again, the whole of the news is depressing, unfortunately. Now, did anybody watch GB News the other night when I think it was Wednesday when she got into it with that horrible Matthew Straddon? Now, Layla Cunningham was back. I didn't think we'd see her again because she's been making a few balls ups for reform, but we'll get onto that another time. Now, I didn't watch all of this. I've only seen bits of it, and I think it's worth watching. So, Michelle Dewberry, like her or hate her, I like her, but sometimes her voice gets on my tits, and sometimes the way she talks out the side of her mouth as well is a bit annoying. But mostly, I agree with what she says. Now, this guy here, he's apparently a Jew as well, and he hates his own people, which is just weird. He's a full-blown lefty. Let's watch Michelle obliterate this twat. Well, we're going to watch something a bit fun, haven't we, after the depressing war stuff?
What I find absolutely fascinating about this, as a woman that experienced domestic violence her whole childhood and has had my adulthood impacted by it and has been an ambassador for a domestic violence charity, I am the first person that will acknowledge that we have some absolute scum of the earth among us in our own community. Nobody in a sane mind would deny that. But I actually found it pretty offensive, really, when people start pulling this whataboutery card to talk about the disgusting individuals that are part of this country. And then you start using that as a way of almost shaming people into not pointing out the obvious danger that are coming into this country from some of these men. Only today I read a case, and I've just put it up on my phone as you two are arguing. An Afghan national was sentenced to 21 years and 7 months in prison for a series of serious sexual offences, including the rape of women, assaults on children. Apparently, he'd been diagnosed with, I quote, a sexual illness prior to arriving. These are not my words, I'm quoting directly. Prior to arriving in the UK. He has a limited understanding of social norms and held entrenched views shaped by his background and his culture. Now, when you look into some of the stuff that this person was doing, it's absolutely appalling. Children was his victims, women, a young boy, or a rape of a boy under the age of 13, causing a child to watch a sexual act. I don't...
This guy, if it's the one I'm thinking of as well, I think if it's the same one, he raped a 5-year-old girl. I don't know if it's the same one. But what Michelle is saying is, yeah, there are baddies, there are wrong-uns in the Indigenous population here. But per capita, there are more wrong-uns that these people that are supposed to be the minority compared to the Indigenous people. And then you get people go, oh, look, a white person committed a rape, or a white person committed this murder. No one talks about that. Well, of course there's going to be that. We're a majority white country just about. But what she's saying is that there are, for the amount of people that are Muslims, there are more than they should be of all these attacks and these. They shouldn't be here. These people are illegal. They're criminals before they've even committed any more offences, because they've broken into our country. They are criminals. They need to be just gone. I'm so sick to death of these hotels and these HMOs. It's all done by design. It's all done on purpose. The establishment hate us, basically. But listen to this. She absolutely owns him now.
That person with your standard domestic abuser.
Standard?
Because... yes, standard domestic abuse. It has become standard in many households, Matthew, for men to abuse their women and assault their women. Don't patronise me.
We're calling it standard.
Don't patronise me about domestic abuse. It is well documented, my background. You are trying to get off the hook of looking at what these vile individuals that should not be in this country are doing. And what you do, Matthew, is you do it by attempting to shame women and sitting there and going, but what about domestic abuse? What about domestic abuse? You can't use the word standard. I can use whatever words. No, you can't. I will use whatever words to describe. I choose. Some of these men coming into this country are in this country because of political choice. When women and girls are sexually abused and raped by people in this country, there's not a lot that we can do about it. When men, because our justice system, by the way, is so flawed, when men are brought into this country by way of political choice, then as a woman, we have every single right to be infuriated with the politicians that have made those political choices. So don't you try and shame women into not talking about this because we have abuse in our own homes in this country.
Quickly, please?
No,
let me just respond to that, because you made a series of very strong points and allegations. Yeah, so first of all, I'm not trying to shame Layla because she's a woman. If Layla was a male...
You're trying to shame me, telling me what words I should use.
I'm talking about anyone, whether you're women or men. I'm not looking at you as women when it comes to talking about policy. I'm looking at you as debaters and interlocutors. Secondly, what I'm pointing out to Layla is not to excuse the evil of the crimes of people who come here as asylum seekers. I'm pointing out that anyone who comes to this country as a tourist could behave in such a wicked way.
This twat, right? This is what pisses me off with these people, yeah? I've linked that if you want to go back and watch it. She did really well there, because the thing is, this guy always plays the victim. But what gets me about these people is they will always say, well, white people do this or black people do this, and they're not Muslim. But what they're not looking at is the proportion of these people. He's been crying on Twitter. Let me just see if I can find him crying. Hang on. He is crying on Twitter about this. We do a quick search. I didn't get that at the time. Oh, my tummy's just started rumbling, guys. I don't know if you heard that. I've not eaten since yesterday again. I forget. I genuinely forget to eat. Isn't that what? Is that not normal then? What's his name? Is it? I'll put Michelle Dewberry in, right? Because I can't find his name. Right, here we go. Stadlen, that's it. Let me just have a quick look, because I think he starts crying on Twitter. They do, and this is what really pisses me off, guys. This is what really gets to me, is that everyone says that, like, Ed Davey wants it shut down. They're saying it's a reform mouthpiece. GB News is actually more hated now by the right because they have too many lefties on, and they're not giving enough right-wing opinion. GB News can't win. They have to. They are under Ofcom, and Ofcom don't pay much attention to the mainstream media. But when it comes to GB News, like they did the same to Talk TV, which is why they stopped doing it. They did it for like a year. Talk TV were like, do you know what, fuck this, go back to the radio and YouTube, because of the way that they were being treated by Ofcom and by the establishment media. So GB News have to have these lefties on. You don't see this balance on any other show. But so he's crying here, and look, she owns him again. Look, so he goes crying, saying, rather than shutting people down in debate, let's hear reform politicians speak up about the epidemic of domestic violence in the UK and the the estimated sexual abuse of 500,000 children a year is what he's saying, by white people. And she shuts him down. She's put, hi, Matt, I shut you down because you were not trying to debate, you were trying to deflect. The horrendous domestic abuse we experience in this country has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that as a result of political choice, young men are permitted to illegally enter this country en masse from backgrounds and cultures which subjugate women and girls and are then placed freely amongst our communities. The net result of this political choice is that women and girls are put at direct increased risk. This increased risk often results in the attacks we see and hear about regularly, though I don't believe we are told the full volume. Attempting to conflate the two issues as an attempt to avoid and or dismiss the issue in hand is a nonsense, insulting deflection which needs robustly calling out each and every time it happens. I will never hesitate to do that. I make no apologies for this. I hope this helps. So I'm glad that Michelle has stood by what she said and not backtracked. Some of you may have seen, talking about backtracking and standing by things you say. I don't know whether you guys seen the short that I put up, was it last night, from Andrew Snowden MP. And I'm glad that Kemi has actually backed him on this. Let's watch this clip just in case you missed it. It is glorious, guys. It's about time we get some good stuff to watch.
Andrew Snowden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Every week the Prime Minister comes here and reads out this pre-scripted nonsense that bears no resemblance to the questions he's actually asked. The Leader of the opposition asked him about Peter Mandelson and he answered about the war in Iran. The leader of the opposition asked him about Mandelson again and he answered with an attack on the Shadow Justice Secretary. He was asked about Mandelson again and talked about protests in London. What is he scared of? What is he hiding? For a man who has spent years presenting himself as a forensic investigator, he has certainly had a blind spot to the details for this convicted paedophile with a friend in high Labour places. So I shall ask him again, when he found out that Lord Mandelson had an ongoing relationship with the convicted paedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, did he speak to him personally before appointing him ambassador to the United States?
Speaker, we've set out the process. It is being put before the House.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, he got completely and utterly owned on that one. You okay? I think they want their dinner. They've still not had the dinner. They had some nuggets earlier, but the dogs didn't eat, so they shouldn't try them again. They're a nightmare. Then can you sit with them? Because I can't.
Yeah, I'm sat with Mel at the back. I was asleep out the back.
Right, well, George wants attention. These dogs love attention. Yeah, so he got completely owned. Now, there's another clip that I'm not going to show you now because I'm going to upload it straight after. Where somebody in the Lords also goes at Starmer. How this man is still in power is flabbergasting me. The constant lies and the sleaze and the fact that he said that Peter Mandelson lied to him, but now he's saying that he never actually spoke to him. This just proves that Keir Starmer has never been in charge of this country. Never, ever. His people around him, the Fabians, are in charge of this country, not him. And now his two people have gone. He's absolutely fooked. He doesn't know what to say. He just keeps repeating the same stuff. He's even worse than he was. He knows that the people that got him in, they never consulted Starmer because he's not actually in charge. If this guy was really in charge, he would be able to make a decision. He can't make a decision on anything without consulting people. And that is what President Trump called out this week as well. President Trump called him out and said he shouldn't need advisors. He's the Prime Minister. He is I still will never forgive anyone who voted for this vile thing. Who the hell voted for him? I would love to know who voted for this utter freak of nature. Anyway, moving on. More depressing stuff. But what can I say? This is the world at the moment. You're going to hear a lot of moaning at the moment. I'm sorry. Right, wrong one. Not that one. Rupert Lowe. Oh, God. If I hear any more about Rupert Lowe is not the be-all and end-all. He's not the answer. He's working with the Tories. Come on, guys. Wakey, wakey. He's a Tory through and through. He is there to destroy reform. And I'm not a reform member anymore, but I can see what's staring at me right in front of the face. He even admitted that he's been talking to the Tories. He admitted that he's been put on some public body, some sort of Tory body. I'll find the clip. I'll play the clip where he admits it. He's working with the Tories to destroy reform. All he ever talks about is reform, 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 reform. I'm going to sue Layla Cunningham for calling us a neo-Nazi. But the left call him a neo-Nazi all the time, but he doesn't sue the left. He doesn't go for Labour. It's just reform, 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 reform. He's there to divide, to split the vote. I would put money on the next general election if he's still got his party, which he can say what he likes at the moment because he's not in any opposition. And he can come out with what he wants. When it comes down to it, he won't deport people the way he's saying he is. He's just sitting on Twitter. He can still and say what he wants. This is what people don't seem to understand about these parties that are not real parties. Even Ben Habib has said, look, this is nonsense now. He is there to cause division. He's not the saviour. And he has got links to some dodgy businesses as well, which I think I'll talk about on a different show. Anyway, you look on Company's House and look how many businesses he's got. I lost count. I got bored. There was pages and pages. But he's got links to some dodgy stuff, so Just beware that Rupert Lowe is not the answer. Right, okay, this was 8 hours ago. Now, you guys may or may not have heard of this, but there was a body found in a wheelie bin the other day. I know. I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Honestly, I've never hated anybody as much as this cretin. I don't know, actually, Tony Blair. I would prefer Tony Blair to him. I don't like Benabib. Trust me, I don't like Benabib either. I think he's a moaning, bitter little man that just complains all the time. And the thing is, he shit on reform, and then he was all up Rupert's arse, and he said he was winding down. He was winding down Advance. He told people to leave Advance and to join Restore, right? And then Restore said, we don't want you. He was actually crying on Dan Wootton the other day, saying, they never replied to my messages. Can you not see how stupid the whole thing is? It's a massive distraction. And in the meantime, all this stuff's going down, real stuff. We're losing our freedom of speech. The only person who, whether you like him or not, Nigel Farage, and again, I'm not a Reform member anymore, the only person who can actually do anything is him now. You can say and do all you want about what's on Twitter, on the online right, but he's the only one that's ever going to get through the voter base. And to get through first past the post, you've got to go to the centre a bit. Doesn't mean you're going to stay there when he gets in. This guy's been found murdered in a wheelie bin. Now, this man, they've charged 3 people, right, today. They've been in the dock. This was in Coventry 6-7 days ago. They found a random man. They didn't know who he was until a few days ago, dead in a wheelie bin. And they said it looked like he'd been hit by a car. Now, there was actually people on Facebook saying that he'd fallen asleep in the wheelie bin and there was nothing to see here. This is how much the public have got so used to being told there's nothing to see here that they're now starting to just say it before the police are. But the police have actually admitted that he didn't just enter the wheelie bin the way that Nicola Bulley entered the water. Yeah, because that's what they were going to go for. He entered the wheelie bin. He got run over and he entered the wheelie bin. No, he didn't. He was murdered. So his name was Thomas Nivens. They finally they got him from his tattoo. They managed to identify this guy, this poor bloke. Council wheelie bin. Right, so 3 people have been charged with the murder. Tammy Sturdy, 45, Cameron Sturdy, 21, appeared in the dock at Warwick Crown Court today, and a separate appearance was made at the same court by 37-year-old Shane Turkington minutes later. What a bizarre name. All 3 defendants are accused of the murder of Thomas, 37, who was found dead in Cashes Park, Coventry last Friday. They have been remanded in custody. This is so bizarre. I wonder how they've got them, though. So they went from not knowing who this man was to not only identifying him, but arresting 3 people who they believe did it. Unless they've got CCTV, it says the judge said you will next appear before the court on the 8th of May. At that hearing, you'll be expected to answer the charge against you. Between now and then, your lawyers will speak with you and take your instructions. When we see each other again, we will make preparations for you to have a trial if that is what is necessary. There were no applications of bail of the Sturdys, both of Paul Road. So I'm guessing could it be father and daughter or uncle? I don't know. Nor of this other dude, this Turkington guy. So that's all we know at the moment on this. But this is so sad. Imagine finding out that you're not seeing someone for a while. What we got now? Tom. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the live stream. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm at the moment, the world has gone to the country has gone to shit, right? And the thing is, people keep going on about Nigel Farage and reform. Reform isn't just Nigel Farage. They've been going now since 2022, and they've built up grassroots. And there are a lot of people working really hard for reform that are just normal people. And when Farage put reform on an election footing, as they called it, a month or so ago, when they said, right, we need to get ready, they sent emails out, because I'm still on their list, because I've cancelled the membership, but I'm still on their list. They went out to normal people like us, normal members, and said, we want people to come forward for MPs. We want people to come forward. Normal people. The reform mayor in Hull is an ex-boxer, is a normal person. And that's what people forget. They think of reform, they just think of Farage. There are a lot of people working really hard at the grassroots that don't get any acknowledgement. And that's what we need to remember. It's not just him. Hi, Lance, how you doing? I just think we need to just all come together and do something. Yeah. And I do quite respect Kemi Badenoch. Now, I've always thought she was going to be a bit different. I don't like the Tories. I don't think I could vote Tory again. But I do think that she is trying to change. She's trying to change the Conservative Party, and she's definitely doing really well at PMQ. She's coming out now. She's becoming more confident. She's not a politician. Kemi Badenoch is not a natural politician. She's actually an engineer. She's not a politician. She only joined the Conservative Party in 2019. And I think she's doing well. She's doing well. The thing is, I'm just going to be honest. It's very easy for me to just sit here and go, yeah, Rupert Lowe's the bee's knees. He's saying all the right things. Great. But there's actually clips of him saying the opposite. Oh, right. Okay. We've just got some breaking news. I've done CERN before, but I'll do it again. I know we said we're done with the Iran war, but look, what's this here? I've just seen this. Trump has said, right, hang on. Just quickly. Trump says the US is considering winding down war in Iran, but other nations must guard. Yeah, I think they should. He's considering winding it down. The UK approved, right? So that's interesting. I hope they do. I think, but the thing is, what about the people? I don't. What they're going to do about the people? Let's just see what Trump says.
Do you plan to escort those ships through the Strait of Hormuz with or without allies?
We're doing very well there. We're doing very well overall. We don't use the Strait. We don't. The United States. We don't need it. Europe needs it. Korea, Japan, China, a lot of other people. So they'll have to get involved a little bit on that one. It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us, but, we don't use it. At a certain point, it'll open itself.
All right, so there you go. So that's just come in. That was just a really quick flick back to the war. See, everyone's arguing about reform now, and this is why I try not to talk about it. The splinter parties can say whatever the hell they like, whatever the hell they want. And Reform made that mistake as well, because that's why they had to backtrack a little bit. But I've got a clip of Rupert Lowe, and I'll upload it, of him saying that he weren't going to deport anyone that was legally here. See? Don't fall for this online right Twitter thing, call thing. And, I can very easily sit here and say he's the bee's knees and he's the best, and Rupert Lowe for PM, and people will be like, oh, Penny's on the ball, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get that. But I'm not going to say what people want to hear. And if people don't like it, then I say, give me your opinion. Let's have each other's opinion. Let's not just argue and just shut each other down. We can all have an opinion. And I'm just giving you mine. That it's not the answer. And if Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib really cared about the country, they would stop constantly attacking reform and just start looking at the country like was it last week? It was last weekend. Farage did a speech at Clacton, and there was hundreds and hundreds of people there. And he was just standing there, giving a speech, and people were saying not once did he bring up Rupert Lowe or Ben Habib or Restore. He spent 2 hours talking ad lib about the state of the country and what he wants to do and about Starmer. But if you listen to the others, they just go for Farage. And that's where this is what you've got to wonder why. Forget Farage, focus on the state of the country. It is being split. But I do think that we need to... Kemi, she's trying to change the Tories. But I don't know if I could ever vote Tory again. Though I do like my MP, David Davis, because he supports the hedgehogs and he's a patron of the hedgehog charities as well. Which is important to me. Wildlife, I do a lot for wildlife, as you know. So he's a good guy. He comes and has cups of teas with people. He invited me for a cup of tea last weekend, but I never made it. Right, so what else have we got? Let's try and get off the depressing war. I only jumped onto that because I seen that coming. So let me just see what else is going on. So the wheelie bin man, obviously we'll keep you up to date with that. I know that there was one in Scarborough as well a couple of years ago. I don't know if that ever came to anything, but there was one in Scarborough, Scarbados. There was a man found in a wheelie bin and they never knew who it was. Hi Ian, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're okay. This is a weird one, guys. Listen to this. My back's so bad, honestly. This is almost needy of the Curious Bunny, but I couldn't help it. 1 month, yay, Penny's Pals. I changed the names of them. I think I've got another level now. I don't know, did I? I can't remember. I think I did. I think I did another level. I don't know. Anyway, this is really weird, guys. And I think this could definitely be on the Curious Bunny, but I did think this was worth mentioning. Now, I'd not heard of this. I know there's been a lot of people going missing abroad. It says here, string of mystery disappearances. Now, I think this is in South Africa. Spark fears of more witchcraft murders after Brit tourist vanished on holiday walk. Now, we've got a little video. Let me just... Hold on. Right, tap for sound. Okay, right, let's just watch this little video. This is really concerning. These things, right, so British tourist disappeared on a walk in South Africa. She's now feared to be killed in a rich... Lorna McSaul, 71, vanished 5 days. We don't need the stupid music, do we? We'll start again because it's going really fast. This is what pisses me off with these. She vanished 5 days into a package holiday after setting off alone from the Ghost Mountain Inn. The only clue ever found was a crumpled paper map. 4 months on, detectives in northern KwaZulu-Natal say they have no new leads. But accounts from farmers, officials and experts in the area point to the chilling possibility that she goes too quickly. Her body parts could have been harvested for Muti witchcraft believed to bring strength. Oh my goodness, guys. Arrived at the lodge with her partner of 30 years, Leon Probert, on the 27th of September as part of a holiday organised by TUI Travel. The CCTV, are they both missing then? CCTV show the couple from Devon setting off at about 2:30 with an A4 map marking a 3-mile circular walk to a nearby lake. Not far into the route, Probert turned back because, the fella turned back because of the heat, or did he bump her off and then pretend he's going home? Now, come on. Now, this is Spidey alert here. Spidey sense alert. Why would he, on holiday in a place he didn't know, turn back because of the heat and leave his wife out alone? Come on. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think this is witchcraft and spooky doo and cannibal tribes. I think he's done something to her, because why would you just leave your wife? Come on. Something's off. Something's off. But what do you guys reckon? I think something's off here. Local farmer had the last confirmed sighting at around 3:15 when Lorna, well, they call her McSorley, wearing a black bum bag and size, does that say size 2 trainers? Go away, I don't want that. Stopped. I can't read that. But there's another story I've got as well. Let me just read this one. So apparently there's been a spate of mysterious disappearances. Fair enough. I think there is something really weird going on. But I just find it a little bit funny that this dude left her after 30 years because he felt hot. Come on. Did she have any life insurance? Do you know, I watched that Green Inferno the other night as well. So it's really weird seeing this now because it's just brought back memories. So TUI are setting these holidays and people are being bumped off. It's shocking, isn't it? Yeah, Rebecca loves, you could be right there, my love. South African authorities found the crumpled map. Since then, listen to this, guys. There's been 5 of them now. Listen to it. But I do believe that this one is a bit suspicious. Since then, a young local woman has also vanished and a pensioner has been found dead with her hands cut off. Religious and political leaders have now come together to get to the bottom of these mysterious disappearances and killings. One local councillor has ordered mass prayers against so-called muti murders. Muti is traditional medicine made from natural plants and animals which are widely used across Africa. But some radical healers, known as Sangomas and Inyangas, claim the use of human body parts make the concoctions most effective. Extreme medics even say the most effective potions of all contains parts of children, white victims, or those with albinos, and can bring good luck and wealth. The practitioners are understood to rely on a shady network of scouts who work on getting their hands on these organs. Locals and private security firms have warned that McSorley's death, well, we don't know if she's dead, it disappeared, was linked to a network of these witchcraft murders. I'm still thinking it's a little bit funny that old Leon, 10 years her senior, left her and went home and now she's vanished. She left a lodge for a walk, as we know, last September. Not far from the route, he turned back because of the heat. I just don't, would you leave your missus alone in South Africa knowing there's all these ritualistic murders going on? So apparently there's been other people dead. So it says here, a massive 6-day search. 6 days, that's all, involving police, rangers, private security. The locals must know. Drones, dogs, boats, helicopters and fixed wing aircraft found nothing. Police in Maku said the case is still under investigation. Local councillor, South Africa's got a lot of white people, hasn't it? But there's still a lot of indigenous, isn't there? And as far as I'm aware, they are still very much trying to get rid of the white people. I think there's a lot of discrimination there. He said in his 5 years, at least 10 men, women and children had been reported missing. It's as though this Leon took her there so we could use this, you know. 3 of them in the past 6 months, all that was recovered of them were missing organs or body parts. This is not good. There's been no suspects arrested. Everyone is scared. They must know. The KwaZulu-Natal province and Zululand in the north are locally known as hotspots for muti. Avogadro, didn't you say to me you were from South Africa? Private security firms have obtained a mobile phone dump data showing 3 phones converged on the spot where McSorley's map was later found. So 3 people have gone missing from that spot. They remained there for 15 minutes before dispersing. One device appeared to travel at car speed while the others moved on foot, one from town and one from the mountain. Ghost Mountain should give you a little bit of a clue. Maybe don't go there. Just saying. Thing is, these local police aren't going to care, are they? Come on, because they'll be next. So Probert later said detectives told him they had no such phone data. So this apparently private company said they found all this information, but the police said that didn't happen. So one of them's lying. I tend to think the police are going to cover this up. Responding to suggestions his partner may have been abducted for her body parts, he said, "I never knew that sort of thing existed, but it is a possibility, I suppose." Come on. That she was taken away when you bear in mind there's no evidence of her existence. I think they should question Leon. I have a guilt that if I hadn't returned to the hotel, the chances are nothing would have happened, he said. McSorley's brother Jeff said the councillor's recent actions has added more credibility to the possibility that foul play was involved in his sister's disappearance. This is really, really sad, guys. Oh, Neil Cicada died as well, didn't he? He died, was it last week? And Chuck Norris has died today. Yeah, Neil Cicada. He did the song to my first wedding song. How old was he? 85. Apparently his cause of death has come out. Let's see. Oh, heart disease, look. Oh, heart attack. Oh, I wonder what caused that. I can't think of anything that causes heart attacks in 2026. Right. I'm going to get into the chat now. This is dodgy, isn't it? Yes, I am. I've made a few comments for you. Right, let me just roll back up then, Avogadro, because I've missed your comments, my love. Right, let's get back. Did the Euro tonight. Okay, we never see you again. Right, I'm from South Africa. Right, I'm seeing it now. First thing is she should never have gone out on her own. She should have been warned it's not safe to do so. Witchcraft, highly unlikely. What do you mean unlikely? The thing is they kidnapped, but there's been no like ransom. Do you know what I mean? I think I agree with Rebecca as well. Something feels a bit off with the fella, you know. Yeah, life insurance. I can't help it. It's how my mind works now. I hope I'm wrong. But you know, what would you rather? Woman gets killed by her husband or woman gets eaten for body parts? I don't really fancy any of them two, but we like innuendo over here. Yeah, the Ghost Mountain. It just 30 years together as well, you know. That's like you get less for life. So, it's a huge failing on the part of the travel company, and ritualistic killings don't happen all the time, like these reports make out. I bet they do, though. Organ harvesting, yeah, I agree. Made a few. Right, okay. Just looking back now on the comments. I would be asking whether You can't help it, can you? I can't say, could say loads more. Very complicated. You cannot just conduct life out there. We should do I can't do it now because it's too late, but we should do a call-in show. I could do a call-in show on the news next week. So we could choose some stories of the week, and then you guys could like maybe call in with your thoughts on them. I would like to know your thoughts on the next one as well. What happened last night in the Lords? I was up till like, what was it? 1:15 it came in. It's really bad. They basically have legalized. Was it last night? Maybe it was the night before. I don't know. They've decriminalized abortion up to birth in the UK. If you guys are watching from outside the UK, this is how bad it is in this country now. We're supposed to be a Christian country based on Christian values. Thou shalt not kill. Now, I'm of the thought and the mind that life begins at conception. The only time that an abortion should... I don't blame women, by the way. If you've had an abortion, don't think I'm judging you. It's just my opinion, all right? That unless there's like incest or grape or something that could really hurt the baby's got some sort of health problem, then I think it's acceptable, because what sort of life will they have? Or if it's a danger to the mother, that is the only time that should be performed, and it should be under no later than 20 weeks. I think that's too late, really, and it should only be for those reasons. If you've forgot to take your pill, or you willingly did it drunk, that's your problem. And if you don't want to be a mom, then you can have the child adopted or fostered or whatever, adopted. So I don't agree with it. Now, the Lords have voted last night, the night before, to back decriminalisation of abortion, full stop. So you could abort your baby at 39, 40 weeks if you're late, and you will not get into trouble. It is utterly abhorrent, this. I am so upset. I cried when I watched this. A Labour MP, Tonia Antizzi, I can't say, launched her bid to end police investigations into abortion under a 164-year-old Victorian law last year with an amendment to the Crime and Policing Bill. Now, the BBC are involved as per usual. They did an investigation into the unprecedented number of women enduring criminal offences, more than 100 prosecutions. Well, the thing is, there was one woman who was prosecuted, and she did an abortion. She ordered the pill online and took it herself. You can order them online, apparently. She aborted her 39-week-old baby, and she lied that she thought she was only 10 weeks pregnant. She got charged and she got put in jail for like 8 weeks or something stupid. Was it 8 months? I know it weren't very long. That was during COVID, I think. And she clearly lied. I'm sorry, but there's a big difference between 10 weeks. George, you okay? 10 weeks and 39 weeks. All right? So she should be in jail. Now, this new Archbishop, this woke of Canterbury, was among those speaking out against the MP's decision, but a majority voted to support. So she's actually blimey. She's actually done something right then. I think it's absolutely abhorrent. Not guilty. So she never even got found guilty then. Is this the one? No, this is a different one. The legal limit is 10 weeks. It is this one, but she was 26 weeks, not 39. They said 39 last night on the news. It's utterly disgusting. And do you know what? There was a lot of complications and she had to have emergency treatment. So it cost the NHS money. It's absolutely shocking. The aborting 300,000 babies a year are immigrating. Yeah, it's disgusting. They want us to, and that's why they're pushing all the transgender agenda, which again, I'm not against. What if people are genuinely got gender dysphoria, I haven't got issues, but they're pushing it on people that are probably just gay. They're having it pushed on them. It's an entire anti-baby narrative. They push this LGBTQRST on you because they know that you won't be having babies. They want us to only have one baby each. And I've only got one, but that's because of medical reasons. I would love more. You can't have any more. They want us to have one, and it has to be done in a test tube so they can control everything. That's what's going to be happening, and that's why they want to get rid of us procreating, and they're pushing this. They are pushing the abortion thing. It's totally wrong. I'm pro-choice, yeah, to a point where if there's a reason, if there's a valid reason, that's it. If you just had a bunk up, I'm sorry. But that's your problem. Yeah? Well, the thing is, that's what Epstein was doing. People are shocked when you mention it. Yeah, Demolition Man. That was definitely a prediction of the future. He was, Lance. He was deep into cloning. But so were the Fabians. What do you think Oh, George is off now. He wants to go out. What do you think the Fabians were doing? The Fabians were doing genetics. They were all doing it. I've covered this before. They were doing eugenics. The Fabians were. This isn't a secret. He's pacing up and down. Can you take him out for a wee, please? There's even a museum about it in London. I'll show you quickly. Even The Guardian covered it. So for anyone that... Here, look at this. I might have to cover the Fabians again because I still think that people are not watching what I've been covering. So many people that still keep on mentioning Fabians to me on this channel and telling me, oh, have you heard of the Fabians? I'm like, yeah, I've been covering it for like the last 5 years. There's no one watching my stuff. Right, so look at this guy. This is just an example, right? This was The Guardian when they actually... Not this one. Wrong one. My mistake. Get rid of that one. This was The Guardian in 2012 before they ended up being as bad as they are now. Eugenics, the skeleton that rattles loudest in the left's closet, from 2012. Socialism's one-time interest. One-time interest, no, it wasn't one time, but yeah, they're still at it now. It's dismissed as an accident, but the truth is far more unpalatable. William Beveridge Fabian, who argued that those with general defects should be denied not only the vote, but civil freedom and fatherhood. This is all from the left. I'm going to drop this link in, Rob. I'm not going to read it all because it's a news show. But if you haven't looked into this, have a look. The Fabians were all over this shit. They were doing the genetic stuff that the Nazis were doing. And what do you think the Nazis were? National Socialists. The key is there. It says here, most alarming, many of its leading advocates were amongst the luminaries of the Fabian and the socialist left. Men and women revered to this day. Thus, George Bernard Shaw, founder, Fabian, could insist that the only fundamental and possible socialism is the socialization of selective breeding of man, even suggesting in a phrase that chills the blood that defectives dealt with by means of a lethal chamber. See? It was all being done back then. Who do you think invented all the contraception? Where do you think that come from? Fabian. Yet what looks kooky or sinister in 2012 struck the pre-war British left as solid and sensible. Harold Lasky, Stella LSC, London School of Economics. Who do you think founded the London School of Economics, folks? The Fabians, co-founder of the Left Book Club and one-time chairman of the Labour Party. Who do you think founded the Labour Party? The Fabians. The entire Labour Party are the Fabians. These people were doing eugenics. They were doing designer babies back in the 40s. This isn't new. And that's what the Nazis were doing. People don't realise that it's all been going on for years. All the cloning. What's going on? I'm missing the chat. Oh, I shouldn't laugh at that. Poor animals. Right. I need a wee so much now. So I'm going to have to go in a sec. I'm just seeing... This made me chuckle. This is silly, but, you know, it's in the sun. Apparently Randy Andy is having boxes delivered. And even though he's lost his title, he can't bear to lose it. So he's still having his deliveries done in HRH boxes. This tickled me. We've got to laugh at something, haven't we? Otherwise we'll crack up. The press have been filming his delivery boxes to see what address he's got on there and the name. And it says HRH boxes, His Royal Highness boxes are delivered to Andrew's new Sandringham home at Marsh Farm, despite ex-prince being stripped of the title. Disgraced Andrew, oh, fuck off. Disgraced Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is still calling himself HRH as his belongings are moved into his final Sandringham exile. They should bugger him off to Gibraltar or something. They should just get rid of him. I don't know why he's still here at our expense, which has been surrounded by an electric fence. He's literally like... Right, I've got to go. It's been called. 2 minutes. He's literally got the mind of a child. And his mother, the Queen, the late Queen, treated him like a baby for the entirety of his life. He's absolutely thick as shit. And he thought that going on BBC and saying that he didn't sweat was going to sort him out. So the King shamed, and the King is involved in all of it as well. Best mates with Jimmy Savile. Come on. Evicted him from Royal Lodge. Look, His Royal Highness sitting room. Look, the paparazzi do make me laugh the way they don't miss a thing, do they? They don't miss a thing. So he's still calling himself His Royal Highness on his moving boxes. His Royal Highness meeting room. They believe to contain closed books and antiques with many marked fragile. It's just this guy, man. That picture's the funniest picture that has ever been taken, isn't it? Come on. I've got loads on egg stain coming up as well. On the Curious Bunny. I was going to do it tonight, but I thought we'd do a news roundup of the very bizarre... Give me 2 minutes, please. Very bizarre news. That's not even a curious news. It's just the news. Right. I think that's going to have to be it now because it is 20:11. Yeah, we'll end it on something that's a bit bonkers and a bit silly because it's less depressing, isn't it? There's more news I could talk about that's more depressing. So I think we'll leave it there. Yeah, so there's your news roundup of the week. There's lots more. I couldn't get it all into an hour and a half if I wanted to. I don't know about tomorrow night live. I'll be live on Sunday. I'll try and go about 8 because it's Sunday. I'll try and go earlier. And we're going to be covering Zorro Ranch, Eggstain's Zorro Ranch. They've started digging it now and looking into it. They're only 6 years too late. And also some more stuff from the Eggstein files as well. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye on that. I'll be doing little streams on Penny Bunny as well, out and about. So if you're interested in me out and about stuff, sub to Penny Bunny, like just little walks and stuff. It doesn't have to be, there'll be shorter ones. I have to go, but I'm glad I caught a live. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate all of you. And if you disagree with me, that's okay. because at the end of the day, it's not about left and right anymore. It's about right and wrong. There's good and bad in both, and there's some absolute bonkers things going on, and we need to fight it, because the rot of the woke has got in. It destroyed the Conservative Party from within. Thank you for showing up and showing out. I have a free weekend, so thank you, darling. Well, guys, there'll be more stuff coming out as well, so just keep an eye on all of the channels, because I want to get some videos out tomorrow, and I'll be live again on Sunday night at 8, but I will be doing little bits and pieces over the weekend on all of my channels. How's your pet cat? He's not my pet. I don't like cats, do I? But I feed one because I feel sorry for him. Actually, no, I stop him from coming in my garden by feeding him over the road. It's mostly worked. Right, okay. Good night, guys. God bless. Lots of love, and I'll see you all on the next one. Please hit the like. I hope you enjoyed the content. And I do think we should start having some mass debates on the news night, so people can come in and give your thoughts on my thoughts. Good night.